My name is Urška. I was invited to tell you a bit more about festival production. The main reason for this is that I was working as a producer of animated film festival in Mateka for 5 years. So we can say that I know a bit about festival production. Animateka is a very successful, internationally very successful festival, maybe a bit less known here in Slovenia. But we have, the festival is really known, which is also told by the fact that almost 100 guests comes to the festival each year from all around Europe and further. Defining your own festival, it's very important to see the perspective of the audience, how to make sure that people that come to our festival feel good at our festival. So even as a visitor of the festival, someone who likes to go to music festivals, for example, you can participate and give a very important perspective for the organizer. So don't worry, everybody will have a point of view that will benefit to final results that we're trying to achieve. So the goals of today's sessions, I think you already saw them. I kind of defined 3 main goals. One would be defining what the festival is, how it is different from other events, what specifies it from like an ordinary one-day event from other projects, what is its life cycle, when it begins, when it stops. It's not just the days, the official dates of the festival that are the project of the festival, it's also planning, organizing and everything. Then I would like to shortly explain you about crucial elements of writing a strategy for the festival, of defining it, how to write a good mission statement, how to make a vision, and how to set the goals for the future based on like analysis of our festival. One very important element is also so-called SWOT analysis, which is what to see what in the inner and external environment helps festival being better, and how to avoid the threats of failure to making the festival. First thing is what defines a festival? What makes it different from other events? I wrote down one definition. It's a festival is a job only done once, and it has to have clearly defined beginning and an end, budget, resources that we'll use, and the way, the plan, how it will be carried out. But first of all, I would like to stress that okay, festival, you will say festival is not only done once, if we have like 20 editions, if we have a tradition. But from a point of view, it is only done once, because each edition, as some of you know, is a completely new story. You can use your knowledge and some connections and some samples from past year, but basically each year, from the beginning, you have to plan the program, bring together the money, organize the team, so it's each time new, even if it's like 20th edition of the festival. Most important parts of what defines the festival is, as you said, clearly defined start and end. It's usually that festivals are events that take place for several days on several locations. You have more than one event. Then you have to have clearly defined budget and resources that you can use for the festival. You have to have clear content focus, so you may have interdisciplinary festival, like for example here in Slovenia is City of Women, which has theater, film, music, visual arts, lectures, everything, but it has a very clear focus on the program. It's the authorship of female artists. So maybe you can see in the last period there's a lot of one-day festivals. So I would like to hear maybe a bit from you what you think are the things that make festival different from like a one-day event. Because you have a one-day festival like for children, or literary festival that takes place basically just for one day. So there are some additional elements, and I would like to hear from you maybe what it is that you can say your event is a festival, not just a one-day event. Concept. Okay, maybe I should write down this a bit. So we can maybe together organize concept. Anything else?
Content. I mean the amount of content.
Anything else?
The magnitude of authors or works that are presented. So it's not just from one person or one source, but there are different approaches and sources.
Maybe a target group?
A clearly defined target group?
Continuity from 1 day to several days, 3 days, 5 days, for example.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe it's happening once in 1 year.
At the same period.
Sorry?
Once per year at the same period. Like
Yeah, okay.
say, first week of this month, or I don't know, last week.
It has a fixed time when it's
Yes.
occurring. Anything else? Okay. I think that very important. These are all very important, and I would like to stress here with multitude of authors, it is often their presence, the fact that the guests from abroad or from different places come to the festivals to present their work and also to maybe discuss the topic that the festival, the concept, the content that the festival is focusing on, trying to present the latest achievements in the field, trying to offer something that the regular offer of cultural contacts in the region doesn't give to the visitors, to the audiences. So these are all very important aspects of the festival. So the next thing is life cycle of the festival. As said before, there is we the visitors usually know only the dates of the festival. Second week of June we have festival of minor film. Okay, fine. We have programming in visiting. But there's a lot more hiding behind it for the organization team. Ideally, festival starts long before the official dates of the festival. Ideally. The different authors put these phases in different, they come to be differently, they name it differently, so I sometimes planning and design are in two different groups, planning design is like the first pitch, the first idea of the festival, with which you try to promote the festival to some sponsors, to funders, to bring attention to people that can help you to organize it to you. Then the second phase, planning, but I think we can put it together in one. Planning is basically a lot what we're going to talk about today. It is putting up an idea of a festival, a topic of a festival, a focus, drafting up the program slots, the contents that the program will cover. It's all about making clear message what our festival is going to be, what content it's going to cover, who will take place in it, what we wish to achieve with our festivals, what is the goal of the festival. It's of course not just I want to have a festival. You probably want to send a message to make a difference, to achieve something which is not important only for the financiers that you're going to have to persuade to support your activity, but it's very important also for you, so that you know why you're doing it, and it helps you to decide which activities, which program, which films to select to be aligned with the focus, the mission of your festival. So the next phase is preparation. we have lined up, okay, we want to have a 5-day festival, we want to have a film festival, we want to focus on, I don't know, animation for teenagers, we want to talk about growing up, we want to also include some topics related with social problems, with unemployment of youth or something like that. And then we have to start organizing the festival, making a plan how to make the festival work, how it can become a reality. So this preparation is basically everything from drafting up what our budget will look like, organizing and agreeing and finding people that will work at the festival, decide on locations, make arrangements with people that will help us at the locations, decide who the artists coming to the festival are, contact them, organize their arrival, their staying at the festival, include them in the program of the festival. So basically, I would say that this second phase is way more important than the execution itself, because if we do a good work, then all we have to do at the festival is correct little crises, unexpected situations. It's called management by exception. So we only have to intervene if something goes wrong, not to doing the work that should be done way before the festival. With the execution, when the festival is well organized, it basically, once the festival starts going, it's basically going on its own. It's, yeah, of course, it's late arrival of someone who should be speaking in half an hour, you have to solve it. It's a broken car, or it's something that goes wrong and you have to fix it. But mainly each member of the team knows exactly what he or she has to do at the festival, what things have to be taken care of at different events at the festival. I mean, everything is taken care of already, you just have to make sure that things go as planned. So at the end, evaluation. Evaluation is, in the big part, a very bureaucratic work that nobody wants to do. You've been working on a festival for several months. For the last week, you've been working basically 24 hours a day. You're really tired, and the last thing you want to do is count how many people came to your festival, see how much money you spent, write boring reports on what media coverage you had, and stuff like that. Most often the reality is that we have to do it mostly for the public financiers who want to have reports on what was done with their money. But it's also very important that we think also about other groups of people that take place. It's good if we report back to our sponsors, even if it's not part of our agreements. But if you stand in their shoes, what better information and feedback is to see with your help, we attracted this number of visitors. We brought so many foreign authors, we showed so many films. Because the worst thing you can do with a sponsor, and you cannot afford it, is to talk to him again in a year when you need him again. You have to make sure that you say thank you, at least with 2 letters and some numbers. You have to send some feedback. Also to partners of the festival. It's good to evaluate your work, your collaboration with them, and to send them thank you for your support, thank you to your team who helped us very much, because it's not taken for granted that everybody in the partners organizations pull up and help you realize your festival. So this thing called SWOT analysis, in Slovenia it's called, there's a translation, it's called spin analysis, but I would have to say that mainly we use the name SWOT analysis. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The first two are part of our internal environment. We have to ask to ourselves, what are our strengths? What are the things that make our festival different from the competition? What do we do best? Do we have an amazing team that can do really crazy things without budget? Do we have a great PR who attracts a large number of audiences to our festival, for example? Weaknesses. Do we have low budget? Of course we all do. We don't all like to have a higher budget. What does our competition do better than us? Why people go to other festivals and not come to our festival? So it's basically a self-reflection. It's good to brainstorm in the team. It's good to make a long list and then pull out the most important things. It works best when it's done as a brainstorming in a more informal environment. And then there's external environment to which we don't really have influence on. But if we take it into account, it can make a difference because we can seize the opportunities from the environment and make our festival better. Make a break that not noticing the opportunity, we could miss it maybe. And the threats is the government pulling down a public call that was financing our festival. It's a good thing to know, to be prepared about it, and to have opportunity to react on it in the early stages of the festival, for example. What are the trends in the environment? What is competition doing? So we have to see broader, and even if you can't really influence it, you can take it into account and it can make a really important difference. Okay. Then strategic planning. It's basically, I think, most unpopular topic in cultural management. There's a lot of talking about strategies all around us. Nobody wants to really talk about it. But I think that to some extent it can help us to understand who we are. It can be also an element of connecting the team together, because we know we are following the same dreams, if we're a bit poetic. And it's good because in some situations you can just, some elements that you have clearly defined are really, really of key importance to talking to someone you want to persuade, either for a sponsor, someone who offers you a media coverage. If you have a clear message, we are an organization that wants to change this and this by doing this. And if you have a clear goals, we want to have 3,000 more visitors in 2 years, then you can easier organize and plan activities that will help you achieve these points. So taking at least some time for these topics, I think, can be of great benefit for the festival. Luckily, some public calls are forcing us to do it, though usually these are the chapters that you really write in the last moments, and but it's a good start that maybe forces us to have some reflection. But we're going to anyway start with this. So the approaches, there are different approaches. We can do it year by year, which is often adapting last year's program to the current financial situation. Okay, if we have more money, maybe we can add this, or we have cut down, so what can we lose? This is not important anymore. Then programming, it's often linked to public calls because you're forced to have a 3-year strategy. But the downside of this is that you are very adaptable to the goals that are not really yours, because you're trying to persuade someone else why you should get public money or sponsors money or something. So it's usually in a way, yes, you are flexible, but you don't really follow the goals that come from within your organization. And the ad hoc is like for smaller projects. You don't really need a large amount of money, so you can afford to think up of the project and start fundraising and do it. So like this is a very short-term plan. And then there's a difference between bottom-up and top-down approach. Top-down approach would mean that like the program director of the festival decides, okay, these are the goals, this is our mission statement, and this is my vision, and then tries to convert this idea, this strategy to the rest of the team. Bottom-up approach, of course, is the team thinking together about how they see festival in like 3 years, 5 years, usually it's like 3 to 5 years period, and discussing what are the values of the festival, what is the mission the team is trying to achieve by organizing this. So I personally think that this can be a really good motivation to start like that. Like I said before, in the informal team, for me it was really a great experience. We did it once, it was for the call, for media, but we did it in a vineyard of a friend for a weekend, and we had a lot of time. It was not like we have to write down our mission statement in 2 hours. We had time to do it, and it was great to see what each of team members thinks. What is the specific characteristic that makes the festival different? What is missing? What should be added? It's also not just writing a strategy, it's also getting an idea what could be done with the festival. So I think this really should be a teamwork. Now, which are the key elements? It's first of all, I would say first it's good to do a SWOT analysis, because then you also already have your strengths, like some base where you can start from. Then it's a vision, which is like a fantasy vision. You can dream of it when you're writing a vision. It's like a vision of where your festival is going to be in 3 to 5 years. It's a statement, but it's important that on one hand it's feasible, and on the other hand it has to be ambitious. So don't ask for too much and don't ask for too little. So it's the middle value that you have to find. It has to encourage hope, but also let you dream a bit. It has to come from the history of the organization. You have to take, of course, into account what you already achieved, where you started from. And it also has to be kind of a motivation for the team. It has to be your saying that keeps you on going. Then it's mission statement. In mission statement, we ask ourselves, who are we? What are the needs that we are existing for? What needs of environment, of audiences we are trying to satisfy? What are the values of our organization? What are the activities? And which are specialities of our organizations. So it's good to include what we are doing, what are we aiming at, who are we existing for, who are we offering our program, our festival to, and on top of it, it has to be written in a really attractive way, so that it's easy to remember, easy to sell to potential partners, to donors, to financiers. Then we have also strategic goals, which are easiest to organize after setting out the SWOT analysis and coming out from what are the benefits, the strengths and weaknesses of our organizations. Which part of our organization you want to strengthen, to boost up, to improve, to upgrade in the following years, and which are the weaknesses that we want to eliminate, make them into strengths and improve. These are the exit point for writing our goals. Again, we have to be realistic and to set concrete time frame when these goals should be achieved. Okay. Then it's also one important thing that in all of this, it's not really like a mission statement, something that you have to write down, but it's really, really important to take time to define it and to think about it. Is structuring your audiences. You have to be really clear about who is coming to your festival, who are you trying to bring closer to your festival, who is the key audiences that you want to. And based on this, you can. Forgot about it. So this is one mission statement, for example, in Festival Vikan. It's interesting that not a lot of the festivals have this thing published online. So for Cannes, for example, ever since its creation, the Festival de Cannes has remained faithful to its founding purpose, to draw attention. So the purpose is to draw attention to and raise the profile of films with the aim of contributing. So we have the aim, the purpose of contributing towards the development of cinema, boosting the film industry worldwide, and celebrating cinema at the international level. So the target audience is worldwide and international. It's not just some local community that they are aiming at. So of course, according to that, they have to go make big steps in organizing the festival. These are one of the festivals that is quite close to us, as far as film festival in Udine. And again, we have the aim of the festival, and we have very clearly stated what it is trying to achieve. It's to encourage and develop the understanding and appreciation of East Asian popular filmmaking among European and Italian audiences. Again, they are international, not just Italian. Contribute to commercial distribution, start and research history, create exchange between Asian and European film marketing companies, and establishing links between, again, the markets. Any questions? I think that, yeah.
What's the aim of Animateca?
The aim?
Tell us
the aim of Animateca is to promote contemporary animated film for adult mainly to Slovenian public, and to be also an exit point for curators to select films from the region for their festival, like a transition point from from east to west. Okay. So from all these things written down, we have two options if we then look at our festival. One is that if our festival has started as really focused on a certain topic or a certain form, like film, theater, intermedia art or something like that, then this is usually a good starting point to start to growing, to start developing, to start getting bigger, to add contents to satisfy the rest of our goals and our purpose. The other way of starting the festival, or the way the festivals usually start, is gathering a lot of ideas, a lot of different events, forms, and connecting them with red line. Saying, okay, we have some theater, we have film projections, we have talks, we have workshops. Now let's put this all together in a festival and make sense out of it. In each case, with written down like the clear aims, the purpose of the festival, it's easier to make a clear cut of what is necessary to remove, to make different, and what is simply not helping to fulfill our goals. Okay. So this would be actually for the theoretical part, because I think that with these things it's much better to I mean, it's really not very attractive to listen about strategy and about how to form a goal, how to let's face it. And I think it would be much better if we would like try to do it in practice, to define for cases like what is the focus of the festival, who are we targeting, and then try to like make mission statements, write short visions, goals for the festival. Also writing SWOT analysis. That is why you were asked to research a bit about the festival that you know, because then you will know what is the competition in the region, what are like you will know enough about the festival, so we can talk about this and try to write down